Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are explaining supply and demand for new businessmen and others who want to learn. So bring your book and pen because this is very helpful. So let's start by understanding what is supply and demand. Supply refers to the quantity of goods or services that producers or suppliers are willing and able to offer for sale in the market. It represents the availability of a particular product or service. While demand refers to the quantity of goods or services that consumers or buyers are willing and able to purchase at a given price. It represents the desire or need for a product or service. How supply and demand work together. Supply and demand interact in the market to determine prices. When there is high demand for a product or service and the supply is limited, the price tends to increase. This happens because buyers are willing to pay more to acquire the limited supply. On the other hand, when there is low demand for a product or service and the supply exceeds it, the price tends to decrease. In this case, sellers may lower prices to attract buyers and clear their excess inventory. The relationship between supply and demand is often illustrated through the supply and demand curve. The supply curve represents the quantity of a product or service that suppliers are willing to provide at different price levels. The demand curve represents the quantity of a product or service that consumers are willing to buy at different price levels. The point where the supply and demand curves intersect is known as the equilibrium point, where the quantity supplied equals the quantity demanded. The price at this equilibrium point is the market price. Production costs. Production costs play a significant role in determining the supply of goods or services. These costs include expenses associated with acquiring raw materials, labor wages, technology, machinery, and equipment necessary for production. When production costs increase, it becomes more expensive for businesses to produce and supply goods or services, which can reduce the overall supply. Government regulations and policies. Government regulations and policies can have a substantial impact on the supply of goods or services. Regulations related to licensing, permits, taxation, health and safety standards, environmental regulations, and trade policies can affect the ease and cost of production. Strict regulations or high taxes may increase production costs or impose limitations on suppliers, potentially reducing the supply. Natural disasters or other unexpected events. Natural disasters, such as earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, or wildfires, can disrupt the supply chain and affect the availability of goods or services. These events can damage infrastructure, disrupt transportation, and cause shortages of raw materials, leading to a decrease in supply. Other unexpected events like political instability, wars, or global pandemics can also impact supply by disrupting production, trade, or causing supply chain disruptions. It's important to note that these factors can influence the supply of goods or services independently or in combination with each other. Changes in any of these factors can lead to shifts in supply, affecting the overall availability of products or services in the market. Suppliers need to carefully consider these factors when determining their production levels and pricing strategies. Market equilibrium. Market equilibrium is the point at which the quantity demanded by buyers equals the quantity supplied by sellers. It represents a state of balance in the market where there is neither a surplus, excess supply, nor a shortage, insufficient supply, of goods or services. At equilibrium, the market is considered to be in a stable state. In the context of supply and demand, market equilibrium occurs when the supply curve and the demand curve intersect. The equilibrium price is the price at which the quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied. It is determined by the interaction of buyers and sellers in the market. Adjustment of prices to reach equilibrium. When there is a surplus of goods or services in the market, meaning the quantity supplied exceeds the quantity demanded, prices tend to decrease. This occurs because sellers have more supply than buyers want to purchase, leading to competition among sellers. To clear the excess inventory, sellers may lower prices to attract buyers. As prices decrease, the quantity demanded increases, and the quantity supplied decreases until the surplus is eliminated and the market reaches equilibrium. Conversely, when there is a shortage of goods or services in the market, meaning the quantity demanded exceeds the quantity supplied, prices tend to increase. This occurs because buyers are willing to pay higher prices to acquire the limited supply. As prices increase, the quantity supplied increases, and the quantity demanded decreases until the shortage is eliminated and the market reaches equilibrium. The adjustment of prices to reach market equilibrium is driven by the forces of supply and demand. The market tends to self-regulate as prices act as signals to both buyers and sellers. When the market is in equilibrium, there is a balance between the intentions of buyers and sellers, ensuring a fair and efficient allocation of goods or services. Understanding market equilibrium is essential for businesses, policymakers, and individuals as it helps them make informed decisions. It provides insights into the optimal pricing strategies, production levels, and resource allocation necessary to achieve a balanced market state. Certainly. Here's an explanation of why an understanding of supply and demand is crucial for businesses and the broader impact on the economy. Understanding supply and demand for businesses. Pricing strategies. Businesses need to understand supply and demand to set appropriate prices for their products or services. By analyzing market conditions, businesses can determine the optimal price that balances supply and demand, maximizing their profitability. Production and inventory management. Understanding supply and demand helps businesses make informed decisions about production levels and inventory management. By aligning production with expected demand, businesses can avoid overproduction or underproduction, ensuring efficient resource allocation. Market positioning and competition. A deep understanding of supply and demand allows businesses to identify market trends, consumer preferences, and emerging demands. This knowledge enables businesses to position themselves effectively, differentiate their offerings, and stay competitive in the market. Investment and expansion decisions. Businesses rely on supply and demand analysis to assess market potential and make strategic investment decisions. Understanding demand patterns and market dynamics helps businesses evaluate opportunities for expansion or diversification.